Oh, oh, he uses thing. Ooh.
Oh, that was a big stun.
Oh, that was huge.
Irelia the Thigh Dancer is super famous for her outplays and 1v9 carries. Every Irelia you see in high elo is always flying across the map and slapping everyone's face in. Today I'll show you the ways of Irelia so you can make god plays that'll leave your foes flabbergasted. Irelia has basically unlimited mobility if she can manage her Q resets. She deals huge burst damage to anyone she can get on top of, and she's known for her bullshit healing and super fast wave clear, making her a splendid split pusher. But all this comes with the fact that she's a very hard champion to play. If you fall behind as Irelia, then you're gonna be useless. And on top of that, her late game is not the craziest. She's okay in team fights, but it's not exactly her specialty. Alright, so let's do a quick ability rundown. Irelia's Q is a point and click dash to a target. If she kills the target, the cooldown is reset. But you could also reset your Q with the unsteady mark from E and ultimate. Your W is a channel that gives you damage reduction and it can't be interrupted by CC. After that, Irelia slaps forward, dealing damage based on how long the ability was channeled. Irelia's E is a blade that you place down on a location, and then you could place another blade down, forming a line that stuns enemies and gives the unsteady mark to champions. The mark is used for your Q reset. Irelia's R is a skill shot that deals big damage and spreads into an area after it hits a champion. Any champion hit by the ultimate is marked and slowed. And then her passive is that she gains stacks by hitting abilities. Each stack gives her attack speed, but if she gets all 4 stacks, then her autos deal extra damage. Irelia can only gain 1 stack on minions for each ability, but if she hits many champions with one ability, she'll get one for each champion hit for a fast stack. For abilities you want to max Q, W, and then E. And then for runes you want to go the standard Conqueror page, and then for the secondary runes you could go Resolve for a more aggressive playstyle, or Inspiration for a more scaling type build. For the shards you should go attack speed, damage, and then armor or MR. For spells you want to get Flash and Ignite cause teleport is useless. Start D-Blade or D-Shield for your starter items. The main item that you'll rush every single game is Blade of the Ruined King. It gives big healing, big damage, and a lot of attack speed. After Bork, you're pretty much full build, so you can choose whatever mythic you want. Shield Bow second is pretty standard as it's the same thing as Bork but with a shield. There's Gore Drinker for more ability haste, Divine Sunderer against tanks, and Triforce. For boots, you either want to go Plated Steel Caps or Merc Treads. Then after your mythic, you could start going for bruiser items like Death's Dance, Wit's End, and Guardian Angel. So now it's time to get to the super technical mechanics and combos that'll leave your nuts quaking. Always try to reset your Q by killing low health minions. While it is your only form of mobility, it's also a huge source of sustain. Every time you Q, Irelia heals herself. You want to prepare minions so that you have a way to engage if the enemy walks up too far. You do this by auto-attacking a minion to make it low and leave him there for a free Q reset. Usually if you try to prepare minions in front of someone, it's going to be obvious that you want to engage and they'll just run away. But there is a way to instantly prep minions, and that's the W prep. By W prepping the caster minions, it'll let you engage instantly without letting the enemy run away. In the early levels, you have to fully charge your W to get the caster minions low enough for the Q reset. Irelia's W reaches max damage around the halfway point of the channel. You'll know this because Irelia lights up during the animation. But in the later levels, you could just quick tap your W. Your R also helps in prepping the minions if you hit it, so abuse that to get free healing and free dashes.
Oh, you got outplayed so hard.
But once after you have 5 points in Q and your Blade of the Ruined King, you can one-shot the caster minions. You do want to be careful when using your W because that is your only defensive tool. This ability gives a lot of damage reduction. The best way to use your W is before you're about to get CC'd because it can't be cancelled once you start channeling it. You could also use your W to reduce tower damage. Irelia's E is a hard ability to hit. It only stuns in a thin line that can easily be dodged. Either that or I'm just bad at hitting skill shots. So here are my tips to hitting Irelia E. Use your Q to hide the animation of your E. They won't expect you to E when you're dashing around like a maniac. Try to place the first blade near you and in the middle of the minions to hide the blade, and then place the second blade behind them for a quick stun, like this. First you E on yourself, and then use the second E on the enemy. You could also hide the first E out of vision, and then Q in with the second E. They'll never see it coming, and that brings us to the next thing, and that's the Irelia combos. A simple short trade combo is to Q in on a minion to get the reset, auto attack, and then Q out. It's so fast that they can't react to it. And Irelia has a pretty big auto attack range for a melee champ, so you can really abuse that. Next is the auto Q. If you can, try to fit in an auto before you Q for an extra bit of burst damage. This is the W flash. If your enemy gets too far away with 1 HP, you can W flash to extend the range of it. You can't flash while you're channeling the ability. You have to flash right after you release the W key for this to work. You can expand on this by using an auto attack right after, or using the auto attack Q to finish them off when they're low. This is the R flash. You can flash in the middle of channeling your R so they can't react to it. This is the go-to combo for catching enemies off guard with a quick ultimate. The next combo is the triple Q all-in burst combo. First you place down your E, RQ to consume the first mark, then drop your second E to double Q right after. Remember you can auto before your Q to get more damage out. You could even use the R flash cancel. So now let's talk about Irelia's laning. Remember, Irelia has a bigger auto range than most melee champs. Abuse this when they walk up to CS. You can try to do a level 1 all-in by killing the first 3 minions and then dash onto the enemy to fully stack passive, and then you could chase them down with auto attacks. But if you're against someone who could deny you from stacking your passive, like Riven or Jax, then start E and let them push into you. If you can't stack your passive, you lose a lot of your damage and you can't all in. If the enemy sees you trying to stack your passive, they will back off. The strat is to keep your wave under your tower and make them come to you. Irelia is really strong when chasing down the lane with her multiple dashes. After you get your 2-item power spike, Irelia has massive split push potential, she melts towers and clears waves fast. You want to push and steal jungle camps. The plan is to bring multiple people to try and stop you. This way you're applying a lot of pressure and your team can win across the map. If you're gonna hit the tower, you should save minions to use abilities on so you could keep your passive up. Eventually you're gonna have to team fight. Try to fight for objectives that's up on the map. Irelia is not the best team fighter, she's kinda weak to getting interrupted and peeled when she wants to be sticking onto the carries. Remember, the best combo to catch groups of enemies off guard is the R flash. Try to frontline or dive their carry depending on how strong you are. Hope these tips and tricks helped you out. It does take time to get used to Irelia, but once you do, she's pretty fun to play. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.